Hello, everybody. Welcome to Happy Sketch Time, episode number 7. My name is Jonathan Rector. You can check out my website and my work at jonathanrector.com.
And my name, hello, I'm live on a webcam this time. My name is Will Robson, and you can check out my work at facebook.com/Robson Inc. or Twitter at Robson Inc. INK.
There you go. And sorry, we took a little bit to get started. Will had a little snafu with his computer. But if you guys wanted to ask us any questions or anything like that, I believe you have to be signed into Google+. Head on over to there, and you can check our stream and just ask a question there, and it'll pop up on our feed. And as we ramble, we'll get to them, and hopefully we can help you guys out. So I guess we'll start with updates. So what's new with you? What are you working on?
Oh my goodness. Well, I can't remember. I think last Happy Sketch I was working on just starting Meta Rising. I think we just finished. Did we just finish? What's it called? The standard then.
I could double check real quick, like just take a look at it. I'm not quite sure. I think that sounds about right.
Regardless, since then, a lot of stuff. I'm going to use my hands a lot to express what I'm saying. A lot of stuff has happened recently. Like for one thing, I got the super awesome chance to work on this book, Savage Dragon, and I did some colors in it, which was pretty damn cool. So I'm officially an image boy, which is beyond amazing. And I only did like 4 pages, and I like quit, but somehow they still like used my work, and I still get credit for it. So that's pretty cool. I've started like 2 new books. And now I'm drawing traditionally because I got a random job where tomorrow I have to go into Sony in London and to celebrate the release of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 on Blu-ray. I'm gonna draw like the people that work there as superheroes. So I've got some done here. I'll show you. This is the first one I did, which is Mysterio. So you can see their heads missing. I'm gonna draw the head in, and I did Mysterio in like black and white. And I was like, actually, I could add probably a bit of color to it. So then I did like the lizard, and they're really shit, I know, but I'm trying to bang them out because I got to draw like 25 people, and it's tomorrow. So there's the Green Goblin. I think this is the worst one. Here's the Sandman, and now obviously I'm doing Doctor Octopus, and I'm sorry that it's upside down, but I can't do anything about that. But yeah, so that's what's going on with me. How about you?
Well, first I'm just gonna jump on and say, yeah, fuck yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Eric Faries in the chat is saying traditional art for the win. So
yeah.
the question I have then is, I guess there's 2. Before we jump into what I'm doing and all that is, okay, so 1, how did you get what you got right now with Sony? And 2, why? What's the reason for them not having the heads? Is it sort of like a surprise thing that you're showing up and then you're giving them this art sort of thing, or is this like a I guess maybe just a little more information, like how did you get the project and what's it more about, I guess, if you know.
Okay, I got the project. There's a guy called Kevin Phillips who you should know because he comments on a lot of your videos.
Oh yeah, I get emails from him all the time.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And he messaged me saying, hey, there's this website called freelance.com.
Okay.
And you can go there and there's just random jobs because he saw I was doing this Batman personal project and I was drawing a very like noir style. So he said to me that he showed me a job where people are looking for someone to come and work for them to do some random character sketches and stuff. And some of the jobs pay really well, and some of them are just easy side jobs, which I was looking for. I'm just trying to find any way to make a bit of extra cash doing art. So I thought, why not? I'll sign up for it. Thanks, Kevin, for that. So I applied for a bunch of random jobs, and there was one that was just like, come in to draw... because basically why they're missing a head is because when I get there, I'm going to have them choose a body and then I'm going to draw their head onto it.
Okay.
It's characters, basically. And I was studying character art and all this stuff, and I was thinking, it's not really my forte.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm only allowed to be there for 2 hours. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be there for 2 hours, there's no way I'm going to be able to draw everybody as a superhero in 2 hours. So I'm just going to work all today drawing like 25 different images, and I'm strictly sticking to like Spider-Man because I don't know if Sony would be upset if I like had Captain America and like the Avengers and stuff like that, or Batman. So I'm basically just making them all villains. I thought, fuck it, Sony's they're keeping Spider-Man, so they're a bunch of villains. So now I'm just doing this stuff here. But yeah, the freelance websites kick ass. I was it was on Friday, and I was sitting just working, and I get a phone call from a number I've never seen before, and it says, "Hi, this is about the job on Monday." And I was thinking, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, who is this?" And they're like, "Oh, this is Linda from Sony. Yeah, we're can you come in and do the job on Monday?" And I was like, yeah, yes, I can, because I applied for that, not even thinking about it. So yeah,
That's wild, man.
what else did you ask? I can't remember.
No, it was mostly that. It was just kind of like wondering a little bit more, like why are the heads missing, and how exactly did you go about getting that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I highly recommend signing up for freelance.com because there are some great jobs on there. There's also really cool jobs for like being an artist for a trading card game, and that to me would be that'd be so much fun.
Oh, big time.
You just draw basically a bunch of fantasy pin-ups. That'd be so cool.
Well,
So
right
yeah,
on, man. That's cool. That's
and
cool.
it's super cheap for like a monthly subscription. It cost me £3. So in the equivalent of dollars, I think that's like $5 or something.
And how many jobs have you gotten through it, or is this just the first one?
This is the first one I've got, but I've applied for like a bunch. I just pop in there, apply for random stuff. Like people would like hire you just to do covers, or like just to draw characters and stuff. There's lots of stuff for children's books, and I don't know. It's just a pretty cool website. I recommend it to you, John, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll give it a check. Like check her out. So is this the first job that you had since you've had the subscription?
As in what I've taken.
Yeah. Like is basically what I'm asking is this the first month, let's say, that you've subscribed and you
Yeah,
finally got a job?
I signed up. I think 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah.
That's it's pretty good turnaround rate.
Yeah, and you just stick your portfolio online of whatever images you want to show,
Hmm.
and then that's then people look at your work, and then like for me, since I did this Savage Dragon thing, the first thing I put is like artist for Image Comics, previous work Savage Dragon.
That works, man.
Yeah,
Well, congrats either way.
thank you, buddy.
Who knows where it goes from there, right? Like once they get you over there, you know what I mean?
Well, there is a follow up on the job description. It says also potential for more work coming in and doing a comic book seminar for the entire like Sony team.
Oh, interesting.
And so I was thinking of like having everybody make a mini comic from like a piece of paper.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that would get the exact principles down just like that.
Mm. So yeah, so you never know, and it's just great for my CV as well.
Hmm.
So, and that's resume for the Americans out there. Do Canadians say CV or do they say resume?
Resume.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very American influenced.
Oh
That's
man.
for sure. But yeah, nothing much on my end. There was some client projects that I'd finished up since the last time we talked. If we're saying that it's since the standard, I can't even remember a bunch of them. There's a few covers that I was doing, and still the world's in peril. That's what I'm working on today. Uh,
Yeah, I've
and
been
it's,
watching your. I literally, as doing these, I've been watching your process of going through this demon cover or whatever it is.
oh yeah, yep. And it's actually funny. From that, I just got an email yesterday, and the guy asked me to do the back cover. So there's the three versions. There's ABC. Went with C for the final for the first cover, but I guess the back cover he wants the A one done. So yeah, so it's funny. The more work you get, and if you really do a good job, they'll always want you to come back for more. Usually.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, other than that, it's all good. I got the personal project, the Castle Dracula. It just slowly hacking away at that. That's not really. It's a priority, but not so much. I have to really focus on just getting a lot of these. This project, getting a lot more steam under
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and then I can worry about going back into the stuff that I'm doing. Like if it's a lighter day, a lighter work day, then knock it out. But other than that, well, it's all good. The Patreon that I had, it's been very successful so far, more than I was expecting it to.
I'm still on the fence if I want to do something like that.
Yeah, like I recommend it just on it. I don't know. I would. My experience obviously so far has been positive.
Yeah.
I don't know of a single negative.
I haven't uploaded it, and if anyone's interested why I haven't uploaded anything in a while, and my last video, I think, besides the Judge Dredd one, actually, I think I explained it in that, of why I basically stopped the 100 Days of Comics thing, is I've just, like, now I've got so much client work that,
Yeah.
and it's good, like, paying client work, that I'm actually making a real push for a nice, comfortable career, so, yeah, I've been busy.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna knock anybody for that.
No. And I'm enjoying it as well. Like all the book I'm doing, I really like. I don't know how much I can talk. I just signed up for a new project, and I think I'm not allowed to talk about much of it. But it. Oh fuck, that's the wrong marker. Shit. Oh well. Smoke's gonna be purple now. Woo. Um, but it has to do with Nazis and ninjas and Moses and Hitler and Anne Frank as a superhero, and it's ridiculous. And I like it because I just get to draw everything I want to draw, which is just like all the cool stuff. Like pretty much the whole book is just an action book.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I am currently working on Meta Rising and Todd, those are my main focuses. This is a book that doesn't have a due date until like I think April. So I'm literally just going to work on it an hour a day and forget about it.
Yep.
And the clients are very happy with that, which is good for me as well.
Yeah, I would assume so, right? As long as they get something by
Yeah.
when they need it, yeah, it'll be fine. And I remember we were talking a little bit back and forth about like whether or not you were going to take it.
Yeah,
And
because it paid up front and I could really use the money.
hmm
And now I think I'm going to get a Surface Pro 3, so I might be the first person to actually like review that on YouTube for the specification of working in Manga Studio and working as a digital artist. Because there's been a lot of written reviews on it, and I still don't know if they're just being polite because they were given a free piece of like not software but tech.
hmm
Because everyone seems a bit on the fence about it. They're like, it does the job, it's good. But no one's really been like, oh, it's great with Manga Studio, this is how it works, or this is why it doesn't work. So I really just want to know what the dealio is with it.
And the stuff you've been reading, is it been for digital artists or is it just mostly like just tech reviews in general?
I haven't looked at any tech reviews. I've only been looking at the digital artist reviews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, that's 5 down. Next one to go. What superhero should I do now from the Spider Universe?
Rhino.
Rhino. Okay. Hang out a Rhino.
It's like you're doing 24-hour comic book day.
Oh, you're right. It is. All right, this is number 6. I got my Tom McFarlane book sitting here as my board. And then if I feel like a bit of inspiration, I'll just open this puppy up. Oh yeah, look at that spawn. Oh yeah. Oh. Oh look, even more spawn. Oh, Spidey. Alright, that's not that. Yeah. And if you hear me coughing, folks, I'm just getting over the flu. So I'm sorry if you hear. What did you call it?
Lung butter.
Yeah, dead lung butter.
That's gross.
Hey, imagine having a jar of. Oh, that's gross.
Aunt Jemima's cough.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
And Jalugi.
Jemima's. So, I guess one thing I could, I'll rattle your brain about. It's not really a question. I guess it's more of a. How you feel about it, what's your perspective on it, I guess.
Okay.
And I talked to you on Facebook, but I thought I'd just share it with everybody else as well. On my Patreon, one of the things you guys can do if you're interested, I don't mean to just fucking throw this at you guys, but I think it was $30 once a month gets you like an hour with me, and we can go over your work, any questions, all that fun stuff. Regardless, I had a meeting this month for that, and the person I was talking to, they started. There's nothing negative that came from it. It was a totally positive experience, and to be honest with you, I feel like I should have been the one paying them because there wasn't really much art necessarily like what I thought it would be, where it's like you come in, you're paying for time, so you've got a bunch of questions that you maybe need like a practical answer, like can you show me to do X? And it wasn't really that. It was just more of a questioning why and certain things of like how my workflow is going. And what he was bringing up was he was suggesting that, in a polite way, this isn't in a negative way, even though it could potentially sound like it, of not doing necessarily like projects that won't really get me anywhere. So an example would be, let's say, Castle Dracula. Theoretically, doing that's not going to get me anywhere. And I agree, but there's a point for it to be just like a personal project that's fun to do. And what he was suggesting was like I should just be focusing that time on kind of like what I preach a little bit about, which is just doing portfolios and sending them to the big companies to potentially get a job from them, if that's something that I want to do. And it just goes back and forth, sort of, yeah, I should, yeah, I shouldn't. It'd be nice, of course, it'd be nice, it'd be great, all that thing. And you've even talked about before too, which I agree, is if you were able to work at the big boys, and if personal comics like your own that you wanted to do, working with the companies would help in the way of people would get to know your work like in a much broader sense, because
Yeah,
people would
definitely.
theoretically buy Ghost Rider or something like that. And when you come out with a personal project, there'd be a little bit more interest to that. But it just felt like a little, it's an extra detour to go work for those companies as opposed to just slowly grinding yourself, I guess. And I don't know. I think I'm kind of losing myself as what my actual question was, but I guess it was just like if you had any, like, what are your thoughts on, um, I guess, going that route?
Well, I'm going to be going in the UK to Thought Bubble, which is the UK's biggest con, and John Lees is going to be there, who's the writer of the Standard, which would be pretty cool. But it's the only place where I can get my work in front of Marvel, so
Oh,
I'm
okay,
going
yeah,
to need
that's important.
I'm gonna have to sit down and do my Marvel samples, and I've already been working on it slightly, just the story. I've got like Daredevil, he jumps off of a building onto a window cleaner thing on the side of the Chrysler building, and then he goes up to it, and then Kingpin like tackles him out of a window, and then Moon Knight shows up, and then the Punisher shoots the Kingpin, and it's all like just I'm just drawing low level characters that I know because I've looked at the way they sell aren't selling the best. Because I'm not going to go in there and draw Spider-Man and be like, here's Spider-Man, give me a job. They're going to be like, no, we got Ryan Stegman and he's selling loads of issues, so I think we're good. I'm going to draw Moon Knight and the Punisher and Daredevil and see if I can get a job. Like they might be like, oh yeah, I like this. We need to switch this up. So yeah, do you want to draw it? So I do need to focus on that, and I'm going to do like a Judge Dredd thing as well. But at the same time, so for someone like I suppose you who has a full-time job, who, as you said, it's not like you're making loads of money, but you don't have to worry about money.
Hmm.
The job I chose to do, which is to be an artist professionally, means I have zero free time essentially. And if I do have free time, I use it for study and stuff like that. Uh, I would love to just drop all of this and only focus in, but that's kind of dumb because you're gambling like, oh well, if I drop everything, then the end result is I have to get in by a certain date, and that's not going to happen. You don't know when you're going to break in or if you're going to break in. So I say do focus on it, but not make it your main focus. Just add it to the list, essentially.
Yeah, no, and I think what you're talking about there is it's smart and it makes a lot of sense. And I'll say it's comforting just because, but I feel like I'm on the same boat. Like we're on the same wavelength with that, which is good.
Good.
But yeah, like the big push I'll be doing is the Ninja Turtles as well. Just trying to really get that out there.
Oh, hell
Um,
yeah! That Leonardo you drew the other day is the best turtle you've ever drawn.
yeah, I saw that comment. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I love the thickness of like the forearms the and the whatever they're called, ankles or whatever. In
Yeah,
fact, I've nicked that now into the way I'm drawing my turtles.
yep, and I got that from the guy that's currently doing Turtles right now. Santaluco, I believe his name is. I always say it wrong. But yeah, it was just refreshing to do that, and not really refreshing. It's Turtles, right? Everybody's got like their characters that they like to draw, and but yeah, so that's going on there, and the Castle Dracula stuff. I still like it because I'm a huge fan of Dave Raposa. I've talked to him about him to death, and lately he's been coming out with a lot of content on his website. He did a podcast as well on YouTube, and he was just talking kind of just about like not life in general, but like where he's at, what's been going on for a while. It's like real talk sort of stuff. And he started talking about he's been a big player in a lot of like concept art and Magic the Gathering cards and movie posters and stuff. And his style is very similar to a lot of other people's style. And a lot of other people's style are looking into his style and kind of incorporating that into their work.
Sorry.
No problem. And it's all kind of turning into like it's all the same thing. And what he started to do is get tired of that, and so he took some time to think about what it is that he got into art for. What is it that got him turned on into art? What is it that got him excited to pick up a pencil? He went back and he started looking at all that stuff and then just redrawing that. And it kind of got to his, I guess, the style that he's at right now, which I've been posting a similar style that I like to work in. There's a tutorial that he released, all really cool stuff. And then he was saying that he started getting more work based on that. And I've heard this before, and it's always like an interesting thing where you hear a lot of these people, what they do is they get into a field or they try to work for a company because they want to do their kind of content for work. And what ends up happening is they're sort of like the house style of working.
Yeah. Well, that's what you said when you tried to do animation, right?
Yeah, exactly. And after a while, that for some people, I don't want to say everybody, but for some people, it gets boring and repetitive, and it's.
Well, you don't have an artistic voice anymore if you do that.
Exactly. And very few of us get even to that level, but then even fewer of us from that go, you know what, we're going to just spend some time and actually just develop a new style and then actually get work from it. And it was just really inspirational to hear it, and it's like, man, maybe that's another way of looking at it is just even if you want to work at these big companies, it's not necessarily looking at who's working right now and trying to draw like the people that you really enjoy. I feel like I'm all over the place on this one.
No, you're hitting notes. You're hitting notes.
Okay, let's answer some of these questions here. They're kind of piling up. Nazar is suggesting, for anybody that's interested, he recommends a book for pencilers and inkers. It's called The Art of Comic Book Inking by Gary Martin.
Great book.
Yeah, I've never looked at it. It's good.
If you want to learn how to just, it's got great little things on just textures. Like here's like 10 different ways to render metal. Here's 10 different ways to render grass. Like that's why I like it. It gives you options of like different artistic styles, and the end of the book has people like 10 different inkers inking over Jack Kirby and talking about their different approaches. It's just a good book. Get it.
Okay. So you guys check that out. Nazar's also asking, have any of you tested out the new Sketchbook Pro 7? I have not.
No.
Okay. Next one, Nazar's just lighting it up. How old were you when you took on your first comic book job, and did you feel ready back then? This question I think I had on a questions and answers on my YouTube show, but it's good to get your answer on that. So you can go ahead and tackle that first if you like.
I was, let's see, I'm 24 now. I was either 20, I think I was 21, and it was for Toyota. And it was only because my brother worked for the company that I got the job, and I was not ready at all. I was just like, I was drawing my own web comic and stuff, but man, was I not ready at all to do that. And even like to the point where I was basically essentially just tracing Greg Capullo, and I just discovered Greg Capullo at that point. But I was like, yeah, this is the style that I want, and yeah, I just wasn't ready. But I would say that I've only felt ready to take on new client work and draw professional books this summer. Like, even taking on the standard was just like, holy fuck, boys, I'm not ready for this. Because, I mean, if you remember, when I signed up for the standard, we had a video where I was like, what are line weights? Could you show me how to do that?
Yeah, no, I remember you sending me comments and stuff back and forth where it's like you really were triple, quadruple thinking things. Like
Oh yeah.
to me at the time, it's just like, well, no, just like we want you to draw it, so just draw it. And then, but the mindset of the artist at the time, for you, I'm assuming is just kind of like, but it's not as easy as just draw, right? Like you
No.
got to make it blend. You got to make it look to the people that are reading the book where it's like, okay, so the art is at best very seamless. But as the project kept going on, thank God, but you started to get your own voice, and like it's clearly two different artists, which is good. In my
Yeah.
opinion, it's good. I know if I went and bought a book that was like that, I would probably think the other way. But
Well, I did
being
actually try and mimic some stuff of yours to start with on the like I think more in issue 5.
yeah, oh totally.
And obviously I just learned how to render as well, so I was obviously doing your exact renders.
Hmm.
And then you could watch over time by like the last page. I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Yep.
Even to the point where you how long did you spend doing all the like the rough layouts for the standard, like the pages that I would be doing?
Yeah, that took about a week.
Yeah, I was like, fuck that. Every page that like I saw, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. No, no. So all that work you did, I'm sorry. I still feel bad about that.
Oh no no, well I did it under the intentions that I was doing it, right?
Yeah. No, not
So,
this. Not for issue 6 though. Issue 6, you knew that I was going to be doing stuff, and I just didn't do it
but at
anyway.
the time, I think I already had issue 6 thumbnails done, didn't I?
No, you didn't. You just starting them up as I started issue 5.
Oh right, I did them because I thought it would be easier. Because I thought all you were doing was kind of like the, all right, all you need to do is draw over these because I was supposed to make your job that much
That's
easier.
what I was. That's what I was originally going to do as well.
That's what it was. Okay. And then you just decided to say fuck all that.
Yeah, just like fuck John Rector. Who does he think he is? Douchebag.
Comic layouts are garbos.
Yeah. Does you call this storytelling? Jesus Christ.
Okay, so just to, I guess, quickly run over mine, Nazra. I was the first one I took on was a book called was it Gordon Harley? No, there was a book before that called War Healer, and
Sick.
damn, when was that?
That's a cool title though.
What is it? I don't even know. I don't know. I want to say I was around 18 or 19 when I took that on, because that's the year that I went to Chicago, and I thought I was ready. I think most people that get into it, when people start coming to you for work, on average, and I'll just use myself as an example because I had a really bad attitude towards art when I was growing up. I had this false sense of entitlement that thank fuck is long gone, and I'm not even remotely close to that guy anymore. But it was just I got it and I was like, yes, okay, well this is just a routine that it goes in, and you're a certain age, and okay, well Marvel's next. Like now that I have this book done, then I'm just waiting for an email or a phone call, and it's just it's a stupid way to think. So I definitely thought I was ready, and then the harsh realities came in after, where it's like after that project was done, there was silence. It was just I was alone again, and I was a little
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
exactly. I'm not confused, but just kind of like, well, this is weird. I thought like once you got a comic book done, then the next thing that happens is you get another comic book done, and it just got better. But it took me a little while to kick in and realize that there was few people I was listening to and reading comments on forums and stuff, where what they were talking about was like the real stuff that I wasn't getting anywhere else. That was just like, oh, you did a comic book? Cool. Talk to us when you've done 100, like that sort of thing. And even then, it doesn't matter. So it just got me reconditioning my mind to think that you did a comic book, there's the golf clap, nobody cares, cool. You're lucky if anybody's read it, it doesn't matter.
I love golf clap as a description for finishing like months of work.
Exactly, and honestly, to this day, I still feel like even though I'm doing something like I'm doing this project here, I've learned myself that the way that this stuff works for me is doing this stuff here. The satisfaction I get out of it is getting an email back from the client or the other people that are on the team, and they're like, "Oh man, looks great." If I can get people that are on the project to say this is exciting, then I'm doing my job. Once it gets out there, I don't think about it anymore. I'm looking for the next thing to get that excitement going again. And I'm just and I know a lot of people's opinions change. Some people they would like to do they'd like to be known for a great piece of work. I think that's great. If you can do that, that's awesome. But I don't want to live in like a project that's in the past. I want to just keep going for new stuff. So,
No, I think I agree with that. I wouldn't. I'm not. I don't want to be known as like if I ever did Batman, like oh yeah, that Batman story. I'd rather just be known. Like I don't consider like Tom McFarlane to be like oh that Spider-Man he did or that Spawn he did. I just love his art style. I'll look at any of his stuff.
yep, and
That's what I'd rather be known.
that's I think where we all want to be, right? You just want to be known as an artist that's got. I would like people to keep coming back to see the projects I'm doing. That's mostly what I look for out of like fans and stuff.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I did feel ready back then, and it wasn't until afterwards that I realized that I wasn't. Which I think a lot of people, I don't know, I don't want to say a lot of people because it goes both ways. I do know people that they never feel ready, so they never start. And I would say that's the worst spot to be in, is that you never feel like you're good enough to do it because then you'll never do it.
Yeah, you just got to jump in with it, really.
Yeah, get
And
stupid with
you got
it.
to know that the first books you're going to do are going to be shite as well.
Yep, and be okay with that. Everybody's first books are shit. Be proud of what you're doing, though, right? Especially if you're getting paid for it. Somebody's throwing money at you, which says a lot.
I cannot describe the feeling of having your first like printed comic in your hand, though. It's a pretty cool feeling.
Yep, and then you want more.
Yeah, it's crack.
Cocaine. Okay, Nazar's got another question, and just to let everybody know that looks like we've got quite a bit of you viewers now. We're up to 22. If you guys had a question that you guys wanted us to answer, by all means, just head on over to Google Plus. Check out, I guess it'd be under my name, Jonathan Rector. I think that's where it's broadcasted under. And there's a chat right there. You can just. It's not really a chat. It's the questions and answers. You put a question and we can answer it. So Nazar's next question is, Jonathan and Will, are you fans of X-Men?
I've never been a huge fan of X-Men. I like Wolverine and Gambit, and I liked watching the cartoon as a kid, like the '90s cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I rewatched some of it recently because it's on Netflix. And Wolverine pops his claws, and like every time he speaks, they're like, "What do you want for breakfast?" And he's like, "Potato, sling." But no, I've never been a huge fan. I love Jim Lee's run on it, and I love John Byrne's run on it, but I'm not interested in the story. I'm more interested in the art. Like I like the way they look rather than the actual characters themselves.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Never really a big X-Men fan. Like the cartoon, like Will said. I like the characters. That's one thing I do like about Marvel in general. I find that there's just more cool characters that I like. They'll have like a power, you know. But a lot of the X-Men comics, they always feel very, I don't know why, but political, I guess. And I understand why with the mutants and the, you know, back then with the race, with like blacks, whites, Hispanics, religion. You got like this group of outcasts against the world, but they really mean good. I understand its relevance in society, but I guess I don't know. It just never really stung with me. For me, the biggest X-Men.
Probably because you're a middle-class white man, so it didn't really work for you.
I guess well, I suppose.
I'm saying that like not as like serious. So.
No. I get what you're saying from it.
Okay.
I don't know.
You're taking me super serious. It's super serial there.
Super serial, bro.
Yeah.
Magneto's still one of the coolest villains. Juggernaut. Oh, baby.
Yeah, he is.
Omega Red. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm going a bit crazy because I'm like constantly drawing, and like there's so much wrong with this, and I'm just like, you have to keep going.
Yeah, you can't stop.
Nope.
Have you tried doing that Pomodoro technique that I showed you?
Pomodoro technique. What's that?
You basically set a timer. So what you would do is you have 25 minutes, and you just focus on a task for 25 minutes, and then you take a 5-minute break.
Oh yeah, I do use that for all my client work since you suggested it.
Yeah, me too, man, and it works. It fucking works.
It does work. It does keep you just sort of going on stuff. I can't really do it with this because I already know I can't stop because the deadline. I have to go into Sony tomorrow, and I want it to look good. So.
No, I know. Well, what I was suggesting, I guess, like how long is each one of these taking you?
I'd say about 25 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was saying. If you had the timer and it was like you only had that to do that, then you could go, okay, well, every hour you're going to get 4, so you'd know how long you'd be doing this for.
Mm-hmm.
But, anyway.
Fuck it.
All in.
Yeah. It's just, I wish I could have done this earlier this weekend, but I've just been away. It just hasn't been good timing. And having the flu, and been a weird week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to do some like Klaus Johnson Ramita shading, but it's not working at all because I'm not any of them at all. Like I've got this what is it, like calligraphy traditional thing you can like do, like the John Romita Jr. shading where it's like, okay, hang on, where's the camera here? It's like here's a leg and it's shaded on this side. Like he just does this, except it just looks good and I can't do that. So
Best way to work, man. Thick, chunky shading.
yeah, especially for doing stuff like this, like I'm just trying to chuck in a nice balance of black so it looks like there's a lot more detail than there actually is.
Yep. That's, I guess, my pro tip as well. It's like if you guys can. I actually talked about that on this stream. I'll be uploading it today for this week, where I gave an example of how I used to draw because I didn't really have a decent understanding of anatomy, and I was always told my stuff looked very rubbery. But because I sort of started doing shadows and rendering, you could get away with so much. People would start being, people would go like, "Holy fuck! Like you just exploded in skill," and it's like. All I did was understand roughly the general principle of rendering, but that
Oh yeah,
doesn't mean my rendering was right at all. It was just more lines, and people have this, non-artists, I'll say, generally have this idea that, oh wow, more lines equals better art.
yeah.
And man, that got me some serious mileage until I got to a roadblock where it was people started, I could see that I was getting into a standstill with client work, and people were starting to, not run me down, but the comments are starting to hey, it looks great. You just need to fix that arm or fix that leg, and you're like, okay, now people are starting to see, and the gig's up.
The jig is up, boys.
No more free money. All right, Wizard Fi. I can't read, so that might be a next personal project. Learn to read. You're asking, hey guys, I'm still in high school and I've just started getting serious about art. Well, congratulations.
Well, congratulations on being young and deciding that.
Yes.
Not saying that I'm old at 24, but if you're in high school and you're like, yep, I'm going to learn how to draw, then do it. Because I think both me and Joe can both say, like, oh man, I wish I could go back to high school when I had all that free time and just spend it on learning how to draw. Anyway, sorry.
Yep, no, that's right. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. I'll give you the rest part of that question, and I'll be right back. So he's asking, which we hear a lot of, is how would you suggest I stick to consistently producing art to get better? I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's see. Well, for me, last summer, I was fed up with just the way my art looked. I just thought to myself, I want to be a comic book artist. And I was 23 at the time, and I said, if I don't make a push to do it now, then I'll never be able to do it, and then I'll get stuck at some shitty job, and I'll just be really upset. So I looked at all the advice, like I talked to the director, and I was saying, what book should I read? And it was Michael Hampton's Figure Drawing Design and Invention, and I thought, right, I'm going to actually learn and read that book, and I'm not going to stop looking at it until I understand everything. And I still look at that book today, but you just have to start drawing every single day. Every single day. Keep at it, and you just improve. Like, no one's going to give you the answer to why that forearm you draw looks shitty. It's going to be, you're going to find that answer yourself, because you're going to draw it so many times that one time you're going to draw it differently, and you're going to go, oh my god, my brain's just exploded, because that's what I've been doing wrong, is like I've been putting this muscle here instead of here, and it's all stuff like that. So, especially if you're in high school, like, what do you do when you're done with your homework and your chores and stuff? I'm sure you hang out with your friends, but you don't do that every day. I remember plenty of days of just watching TV and stuff. Like, I don't watch TV anymore. I cut that out. You just got to, I don't know, if you want it, go for it. And you just got to know that it's going to be fucking difficult. And it doesn't end either. It's not like you can see that this is poo, and I don't want to draw poo anymore. But this is better poo compared to the poo it was last year.
So stick with it, and you'll make better poo.
Yeah.
Oh man. That was a good one. I wish I had that one.
Yeah, that might have been the mother phlegm
The
that gets rid.
month. Just to mirror what Will was saying, I'm sure he already said everything I'll say, but I just wanted to jump on and say, where he was talking about it doesn't get better. Right now, I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm still stuck in the situation where I'm questioning like what I should be doing next. Should I actually schedule time for study? Yes. Should I schedule time to go to meetings and like show people my work? Yes. You know, they're all noob things that you should do. I just don't think that ever changes. Like Will said, it's just you become aware of them, and it just becomes like when are you going to start acting on it? And when he said it doesn't get easier, you know, it's very true. The job I have now, I'm very grateful for the art job I have now. Um, but when I come home, there's a reason why I keep taking on client work that's comic book related because I know I enjoy comic books, and it never gets easier because those deadlines are even marginally. I don't want to say tougher, but like some of them have like some pretty tight deadlines, and I usually miss them. That's just the way that I work, and yeah, and it never gets better. So to answer your question, just get better. Yeah, just as long as you're drawing every day, and make it an effort for study. Don't just grab a sketchbook and just draw
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Study.
Yeah, do some studies. Like you can make time to do sketchbook stuff. I'm assuming if you're in high school, you're probably noodling anyway. That's probably more than enough. Um,
We all did that. I remember I drew like a Deadpool Punisher comic in class and like Batman vs. the Scarecrow in class. Like everyone that's
yep.
interested in that.
Yeah. So as long as you're making time for study, and if there was one getting outside of your comfort zone that I would add is go to as many conventions as you can. Once you feel confident in your stuff, go and just shop your stuff around just to see what's going on. Expect to get shot down, destroyed, beat up, and spit out, but that's good. You need it. And that's the sort of stuff that you might not want to look forward to, but you're going to have to experience it. And it's basically at that point which determines whether or not you'll stick with this or not. When you've been dedicating like 4 years to your stuff, and you go and you show people, and they're like, "This sucks." Like, you need to fix this, and what they're telling you to fix is basic stuff that you've been spending the 4 years to do. There's a huge part of you that would probably just go, "I'm out." You know, like this is what's the point?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's that's the determining factor of whether or not you'll stick with it and continue to be an unemployed artist for the
But
rest
then
of your life.
you also discover if this is actually what you want to do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because I know for me, I do a lot. Like I went to university for film, and I wanted to be a director. And the pressure of filming a movie, the budget, getting everything right. In the end, I didn't enjoy the process of it at all. Like I still enjoy some of it, and I was good at it. But in the end, this to me is like life. This is what I want to do forever. And you will realize that like if you're struggling to learn how to draw a forearm or the leg muscles or just understanding form in general, if you keep making that push for it, yeah, you're gonna do this professionally. But you gotta also know like if you want to draw comics, you got to be a storyteller. That is the number one important thing.
Hmm.
Uh, it's great to you got. I mean, yeah, you obviously got to learn how to draw everything, but you have to really have an interest in telling a story and like you know acting and scenery and all that stuff. That's the most important thing, and that's what editors will look for. Is they're not going to look at how you draw Spider-Man. They're going to look at the story you tell. So
Yeah, and if there is one reassuring thing too is if you continue to draw, you will find things that you're going to be interested in, whether it is comics or concept art or drawing cars for companies and stuff. It could lead you down to what's it called, graphic design and stuff. So there's lots of routes. You're still young. Just keep drawing and see what the world's throwing at you. But always be true to yourself. Like today, you should know what you want deep down inside. Whether or not you're like maybe it's comics. If you're saying maybe it's comic, it's probably comics. You're just trying to come up with a
yeah,
well, maybe there's something better kind of argument, right?
yeah, I knew that in high school. I knew one of my dream jobs was to be a comic book artist, but I never made like a push for it. And that's why I'm saying I'm jealous of you because if you're like, nope, that's what I want to do, then do it. And then if you live in America, then go to what's it called, the Cubit School in New Jersey. That's like a comic book university, and it's really good actually.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that. I don't know anything other than hearing things, but
Well, I know people that went there, and even if they don't work, like a lot of people have graduated from there and work in the comic industry. But even if you don't, you still get a good art education that can get you other jobs and stuff like that.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, there's Rhino done. Woo! Oh wait, no, he's not. I need to color him. Fuck.
Okay, so that's one down. Okay, so we got the next one here by our friend Nimrod. And he's saying, I'm looking at getting a Cintiq, but I don't really know which one to get. It's for my 40th birthday. He has a Bamboo Touch, and that's
I had a Bamboo Touch.
Yeah, that's the tablet for those of you that are not quite sure. And it feels alien to use, though. My wife says if I am a good boy, I can get the 22 HD. Does size matter, or is that just me being male? That's
I like that.
Oh, that's fucking class.
I personally would not get the 22 HD because that's too big for like just for doing line work. Like I wouldn't like to draw traditionally that big. But that's just personal. If I were you and you're gonna get a tablet, I would get the what's it called? I mean, me and John both use a Cintiq 12X, but I would get the updated one of that, which is what's it called, like 13X or something like that.
13 HD or something like that, yeah.
Because I've looked into that, and it's HD, and it's much easier. It's much easier to use because it's plugged in through an HDMI cable. Like the one me and John use has like a million cables coming out of it. They go into your computer, and even to the point now where mine's slightly broken, I had to like hold the wire down on my tablet for the screen to work because it's just got all fucky. Where with the 13 HD, if you break your cable, then it's fine because you could just get a new HDMI cable. Where now, like my tablet is screwed. So.
I never thought about that. That's actually pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Because usually, like with Wacom and stuff like that, it's all proprietary, right? So, like, if something breaks, you're like, exactly. Now you got to come to us for repair. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I've got a different take on it, I guess. I'll be the other guy just to get the discussion going a little bit. He said he's 40, so I'm assuming you're an older guy, and you've probably been drawing for a while, and I'll assume your eyesight's bad, just based on my eyesight being horrible. There's nothing wrong with the 12WX. If you get a setup that's comfortable, it's more than fine. I'll be honest with you. But something's starting to change my mind, and I'm actually heavily considering, and it's been in the back of my mind for a while. I've brought it up from time to time, but actually looking into getting the big boy, getting the big one. And
I didn't know this. This is new to me.
Okay, well, there's a couple reasons, and one is just the obvious. It's more room to draw on, and I agree with Will where you don't need it because with the 12WX, it's small, but you can zoom in and out, and that's fine. But the difference is when you get the big one, you can still have the same. You get more screen, so you can actually cover more with your pen. You don't always have to be as zoomed in all the time. You don't always have to be as zoomed out all the time. It has its pros and cons, obviously. The biggest con is that price. The price is disgusting. Now in saying that, there's I don't know if you saw this. I shared it on Facebook this week. David Finch, I guess he's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, can you believe he's using Manga Studio and like digital and stuff as well?
I'm glad. I think
he's definitely
because like, he started posting stuff about using Google SketchUp to make like highways and put cars in there just because it's easier. And there was a couple articles for I think a week about that where it's like, our famous popular artists are all using 3D stuff and they're just tracing. Is this art bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you're getting into Google SketchUp, just working digitally is inevitable. But to answer your question, I think drawing on the Cintiq obviously is much better than on a tablet, just because it's more natural to you. It feels more like how you've normally drawn. But in saying that, it's not like drawing on paper at all. There is still a disconnect. But it's not as brutal as like drawing on a tablet. But for the big boy, that's what I'm thinking of going for is the big one too, just because it gives me more room to draw on. And the price is the only actual part that's making this not happen. If I had the money today, would I do it? Yes. So I don't know if that would answer your question, but
I think the reason I lean against it also is because since I draw on a tablet in bed, I would be like weighted down by a
Mm.
huge tablet.
Okay, well
And
that's
I don't.
actually a good thing to bring up too. How your setup actually affects why you use yours.
Yeah. What's the next Spidey villain I should do?
My favorite?
No, next one I should do. I don't care about your favorite.
No,
Jeez.
guess which one my favorite is. We'll see if you get it. You get two. You get two because you're running
Venom.
out of them. Who?
Venom.
No.
Uh, It's got to be a big, bulky dude. It's got to be.
Okay, I'll save you since you only got one. No, it's not a big bulky dude.
Oh God. The lizard.
No.
Okay, I lose. What is it?
Electro.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why.
See, I don't know if I'm gonna do Electro because like he's recognizable by his mask, and since I'm drawing like everyone without masks on,
Okay.
like I drew the rhino head, and I can just put someone's face in them.
Well, maybe if you just have like his mask around his neck, like he took it off or something. That's
I
tacky.
don't know. I don't want to get too intense. Like I think right now I'm gonna draw Hydro Man because that's just gonna be easy. I'm trying to bang out some things.
That's smart. Yeah, just do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Will said, he draws in bed, so his setup with the 12WX is more comfortable. I think once he gets his Surface Pro, I don't even know if you'll use this Cintiq once you get comfortable with it. To be honest with you.
I might not. I'm really looking forward to it. So if everyone knows, I'm going to get a Surface Pro 3 very soon, thanks to the job that I'm doing here right now as well. And I'll make video reviews and all that type of stuff for it. And I can't wait to just go wherever I want to and work. Like I'm going to Amsterdam in a couple of weeks, and I'll bring it there, and that's just awesome. I'm going to be in Amsterdam in a coffee shop, like drawing comics. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
And that's where I think the size issue is coming in for me because like you can use that tablet anywhere. I have the Surface Pro 1 that you guys know, and that's where I kind of get the 12WX is bigger screen, at least the one that I'm using, and it's much more comfortable and it's much more pressure sensitive and it feels better and the artwork I get out of it is better. However, it's kind of like, well, I don't know, this is just stupid stuff. Anyway, I'm looking into potentially getting the big one as well, but in saying that, I've had this guy here for probably 4 years, I would say now, and I don't regret it at all. I think it's a fantastic thing.
It's a fantastic tablet. It really is.
Yeah, unless you're doing color work, I will say if you're doing color work, it's not
Oh,
the
it's poop.
best. Yeah.
Like when I did the Savage Dragon thing, when I exported my files and looked at it on my computer, it was completely different. I was like, oh fuck. Like it was not. It was so different. So, yeah, not the best for colors.
Yeah. So if you're into coloring and stuff, then go for the 12WX. And if money's not an issue, go for the 12WX, obviously. Or sorry, the 22, the big boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully that helped you out. The next question we got here is by Euro. This one's a little, I don't know. Here she asks, can you both give us your top 5 pro shading tips? I don't think there's 5, to be honest with you. I guess we can try doing one. Like, what's your number 1 favorite shading tip?
I don't. I think I understand the question. Like how to shade.
Like, what's something that you could do that would help somebody with shading?
Learn form. If you get the basics down. Hang on, I can't sleep my mouth. If you learn how to draw a box and know all the sides of it, so you can do that. That's a terrible box, but whatever. And then like a cylinder, like if you can see this triangle shape and see it in as a 3-dimensional object, and get that down, it just makes everything easier. It's sort of like you open your eyes to go from just drawing to actually, like you change the way you think about drawing. Like what John's doing with his inks right now, he's not drawing like how you used to. There's so much thought to every little line. Like, does this line need to be thicker than this line because this object's in front of the other object? Like that arm he's drawing right now is going to be in front of the body of that guy. So I know he's going to put some thicker lines and points to show, hey, this object is in front of this object. And I know later on that he's going to break down some form where he's like, the light's hitting here, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But, yeah.
There you go. Pro tip from Will.
Yep. My other pro tip would be to do one of those sessions with John Rector, because that's what I did, and it did change my art completely. Where it's so nice to have someone there looking at what you're doing, because then they could see instantly when you're doing something wrong, and be like, nope, see that what you just did there? That's why your art looks like poo. So do this instead. So yeah, I highly recommend doing that as well.
There you go, guys. Some more testimonials. Oh,
I use the word poo a lot. I've come to find
that's your thing, though. I like it.
poo is my thing. Great.
Poo is your thing. Not that you play with poo and stuff, but
Oh, I remember there was a kid in my school that did that. It was disgusting.
ugh.
He walked in the class one day with like a log in his hand.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Good for him.
Yep. He's probably something like a government agent now or something.
Oh yeah, he's a big deal.
Yeah.
If you got the balls of walking with shit in your hand, think about
Yeah.
that. Think about that for a second. What really does affect you at that point? Not much.
Yeah. I am completely unfazed by anything.
Hey, are you willing to walk around right now with your own turd in your hand? Probably not. I am.
No, I am not. Oh dear.
That guy's got some stones.
Oh, not poo. Oh God.
Okay, so I guess I need one. My pro tip for shading. Form is obviously number one. I think the style of shading afterwards, it doesn't
true. Yes.
it doesn't matter because like you can have magnolia that's all just like a giant giant Sharpie marker and just like thick, gross shadows that look awesome, or you can have somebody that's really fine and just renders at their shadow. But form is number one. Shadow is always going to play around it. Even your rendering, if you've got a cylinder, right? I'll do two quick ones here. If you got two cylinders and the light's coming from this side, and if you just want like this, all right, cool. You know, like you understand the form. If you wanted to do rendering, as long as your rendering is following that curve, it'll always work. So as long as you're remembering form, form is number one. Always, always form.
Yeah. Form and planes. I assume like the same thing.
So hopefully that helps you. I feel like it might not have. I don't know. Nimrod is replying with, I use the second bedroom as a studio. What is your view on what to have in your hybrid studio, as in Freddie Williams' 2 hybrid method? Okay. Do you understand the question at all, Will? Or?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So maybe you'll get it when I go there. Okay, so so for those of you that don't know, I still highly recommend getting Freddie E. Williams' guide to the DC Comics Guide to Digitally Drawing Comics. If drawing digitally is something you're interested in, you can save yourself a lot of time by just reading that book, and he'll explain a lot of tricks that you can use to speed up your flow into getting a little bit more comfortable in Photoshop anyway. But a lot of the things can be used in Manga Studio. But one of the things he suggests is, hey, not everybody likes to draw digitally, and not everybody should like to draw digitally. So for those of you that don't like to do that, you should still look at digital for the tools that it offers. So being able to do your rough layout digitally is huge. Just being able to move stuff around. I feel like once you go that way, you never really go back, just because the time of erasing it'll save you and all that bullshit. But from going from there, then you would ideally print it out on Bristol, and then you could ink traditionally like Will's doing here, or other things like that. So the hybrid is using digital at one point and then using traditional at another point. And it could go both ways. You could do traditional pencil sketches for your layout and then scan it into Manga Studio or Photoshop and ink it. Right? It goes both ways. So what his question was is, he has a studio, and what are our views on what to have in that studio? And I think Freddie honestly nails it. As long as you have some sort of digital tool, you're fine. The one thing I was getting away with for a while was I don't have the money for a gigantic printer that they talk about, like that 11 by 17.
Yeah, I'd love to have one of those.
Yeah, it would. That's awesome, because what you guys can do is just print out on 11 by 17 Bristol in blue, and then just ink over top. Like, that's huge. So I have to add.
But also printing all your artwork and just have a physical copy of it as well.
Yep, there's that. I know you like to do that.
Yep.
And then the other method that I was getting around, because I didn't have that, was I asked my dad. He made me a light table, and if you can't buy one, if you can't make one, try to organize your day so that there's sunlight in a window. And all you need to do is get your Bristol, put it up or in front of the drawing, like the sketch, and you can just use the sun through your light as like a makeshift light table. So as long as you have a light table, a regular printer, you could print two 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. I got a video online. You guys can see about that, talking exactly about this workflow. And you just get those 11 by 17s, turn them sideways, tape them, and it's an 11 by 17. And then just go to your Bristol that way. So as long as you've got a computer, your normal drawing tools that you'd use if you're using pencils and pens, and theoretically that's all you need in a window, you should be good. Other than that, then you can start, if you got money to throw around, start looking into some technological stuff to make your life easier so you can speed things up so you don't have to spend time taping and stapling and cutting and stuff. You can just print and draw. So anyway, that's what I would recommend putting in there.
Yeah, I think you pretty much good. I can't add anything to that. So
Okay. Okay, so Nazra's asking, name one person at DC and Marvel that you consider to be everyday inspiring. Okay, so he's asking if you can name one person at Marvel and DC each that inspires you every day. For him, it's Greg Capullo and Stuart Immonen. So you got two inspirations you want to jump off with?
I will completely agree with Greg Capullo because if any of you know my work, I'm pretty much like a complete rip-off. Greg Capullo, and then Marvel. I don't really like the only Marvel book I followed recently was the Spectacular Spider-Man. So I would say Ryan Stegman because I think he's doing some kind of McFarlane-esque type stuff that I like. But then there's a lot of stuff of his that I don't like as well, and I like a bit of Humberto Ramos. So I'm not quite sure on the Marvel front. I'm not really up to date with who's like the top dogs there. But yeah, that's who I would say. But definitely Capullo. Like my favorite Marvel artist was John Romita Jr., but he just jumped ship to DC. So
Yep, he did. Yeah, this was recent too.
yes, it was, and he's not doing a very good job.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Enjoying Superman.
Fuck. Yeah, we can get into that too. Okay, so for me, for DC, I'm not really a big DC fan. I don't really read a lot of DC, if any. So I'm going to cheat and say right now the current artist on Ninja Turtles, and I always forget his name. Let me see if I can pronounce. I know his last name. Oh, it's Matius. I don't know how you say his first name. Matius Santaluco. I think he's an absolutely phenomenal artist. He's made me rethink how to draw the Ninja Turtles. Made some very interesting choices. I love him. Highly recommend him. And from Marvel, my default's usually Joe Madureira, but I gotta start.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about Joe Mad. Yeah, but he's not a working artist.
That's where I'm saying like I don't feel like he deserves a credit for that because unfortunately he takes so long to do books, and you know he's not. I want to see somebody that releases things roughly monthly. And right now it's got to be Ed McGuinness.
Oh, okay. So what's he doing then?
Right now, I believe he's still doing Amazing X-Men, but he might be moving off of that. I think, yeah, he might, because there was rumors that Stegman was supposed to take over that, I think. But now Stegman's taking over what Joe Madureira was doing. So I think,
oh, really? Okay.
yeah, I think Ed McGuinness is still doing Amazing X-Men. I have to go to the comic book store still to catch my new file. And I will point out, too, because I know you only gave us two, but I'm going to do another one. Will, go ahead, you can as well. But I'm going to say Ryan Otley from Invincible, one of my favorite artists of all time. The amount of work this guy can produce is mind-blowing to me, and this might be bold, but I'll say it. He's, in my eyes, the modern-day Jack Kirby.
What?
Yep. He is to me. The amount of creativity coming out of this guy, the dynamic anatomy coming out of him, the storytelling. Yeah, I have yet to be let down by a single piece of art that he does.
Bold statements. I guess my other choice. I mean, I love. Oh, sorry, that's my phone. I love pre 2000 John Romita Jr. But that's not really a good choice. So I don't know. My pull list is literally just like Batman every month, and then it was Superman. Um,
Well, maybe go back. We'll broaden it out. Like even when you were growing up, like if you had picked up books, like is Todd McFarlane?
oh,
Like,
McFarlane on the way. Right now, hang on, I'll show you. See if I can get it on the camera. I still have it to today. I had this when I was a kid. Freaking my pillow bed sheet is McFarlane Spider-Man, like with panels and stuff. You see this?
oh yeah.
Like I slept in. This is why I think I'm such a McFarlane fanboy because it was just in my face. So he's the whole reason why I want to draw comics professionally. So yeah, McFarlane.
I know we deviated a little bit off your question there, Nazar, but hopefully you still like us. Okay.
Lost my pen. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Found it.
Wizards just replying. Thanks so much for your previous advice. Who are some good comic book artists whose work I could study? The keyword here is study.
I would say to answer this, we should say like the essential people to look at, not like just because of style. Like you know how like you Joe Mad me Capullo.
Hmm.
But what do you think are the essential people to study if you want to be a comic book artist?
Okay, it's such a broad topic, but I'm just going to go for the flavor I like, where it's high energy, high dynamic, impact sort of stuff, as best as I can get to do it. So I know I just said it, but Ryan Oatley right now, if you look at his stuff, the anatomy is
No,
ridiculous.
I meant like
No, no,
I
hear
didn't
me
mean.
out, hear me out, hear me out.
Okay, all right, fine.
To me, his anatomy looks like I just read Michael Hampton's Guide to Drawing Figures. Okay, everything is so dynamic, all the anatomy works, it never looks weird or out of place. So if you like to draw dynamic storytelling, I highly recommend looking at that because that's the main reason why I even got the Michael Hampton book, is because it reminded me so much of his stuff. As for storytelling, easily for me one of the best storytellers, at least in Western comics, not including manga, but Western comics that I've read anyway, is Eduardo Rizzo on 100 Bullets. That's mine.
See, when I said that, I meant like the essential artists that people have to study, not like personal taste. Whatever, fine. Like I'm talking about like you should go. It's like the number one thing you should do.
You
Is
should
if you
what?
want.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, I was saying people should go. You should have to go back and look at people like Jack Kirby. Like that is essential for any comic book artist of things to look at. Like I highly just recommend like if you look back at comic books, they weren't made. It wasn't until I would say the '90s where they turned into pieces of art. Uh, they would just chuck away stories. Like the artists had to draw these books and get them done in a specific amount of time. So you look at people like Jack Kirby, John Buscema, Steve Ditko, John Byrne. Like these, that to me is what people like. When I went away from looking at McFarlane and Capullo and all these people I like, and went back and looked at the old school guys, that's when I got a huge appreciation for comics and just how to draw comics in general. That would be my recommendation. That's what I was saying to you. Like if someone was going to ask you like the quintessential artist to look at in comic book history, that doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the only problem though is like if I recommend somebody look at Jack Kirby, they're probably gonna have, I would assume, they're gonna have the initial reaction I had when I looked at Jack Kirby, which was like,
Oh,
why am I
yeah.
looking at this? And it's not until there's a point when you mature as an artist where you can look at it and look past the immediate flaws to really appreciate like how beautiful it is. So that's why I wouldn't recommend people study Kirby.
All
I
right. Well, if
recommend.
I had to make recommendations, then based on because that's a very good point. I would say. Uh, I would. I would say look at Born Frank Miller's and John Romita Jr.'s. What the hell is it called? I don't know. I can't think right now. My brain is broken because of doing all this art as quick as possible.
I think can't see it. Without Man Without Fear, is that it?
That's it. I look at Man Without Fear by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. That's a fantastic book of just pure noirish storytelling from one amazing writer and one amazing artist. Anything Greg Capullo has ever done, because he's just I can't describe. He's like the Norman Rockwell of comics to me. Like any image that he draws, I can understand exactly what that character is thinking. Yeah, that John Ray Jr. and Greg Capullo. Bam, done.
Okay. And that's it for questions. So again, if you guys had any questions, just head on over to Google Plus. Look for me, Jonathan Rector. You'll see the stream, and then just post it in the Q&A box there, the comments, I think, and it'll pop up, and we can answer your question. So it doesn't say how long we've been streaming for, does it? Let me just... I guess not.
We started about, I think, an hour ago, so...
Okay.
Why, you want to wrap it up?
No, I'm just taking a look at the time.
Alright, cool. Cool beans. So how's it going? How's the inking coming along?
Good, man. Like, I've really tried to make an effort in inking, like how... Remember how I was telling you before how I saw, again, Ryan Oatley, the way I saw him inking, and I know he's seen it from somebody else, where it's you just do the contour first and then do the details?
On a side note, I've actually really been digging his stuff. I've been looking at his work and really liking it.
Oh, right on. Makes me very happy. If you get a chance to read Invincible...
there's a huge like compendium that I'm thinking of getting.
Yeah, those are the ones I have. Fuck, man, those are awesome. They're larger than 11 by 17 printed pages. Or no, sorry. They're closer to an 11 by 17. So it's almost like 10 by 15. They're pretty big. And then the amount of sketches and stuff in the back, like it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I love his just his line weights. He's really good at line weights.
Yeah. What was I saying about... Where are we going with that? Oh, yeah. So I've been really conscious about trying to do that with my inking, where it's just worry about the contour and then spend your time doing the detail in there.
Right.
And it's speeding things up pretty well. And I don't know if 100% if I like the way a lot of it's looking that way. We were kind of talking about that comic, or the cover that I just posted on YouTube, where it was a little different, right? I was inking more traditionally, where it's you go in there and do the details. But yeah, I'm not sure. Either way, it's going pretty good. It's interesting. The penciling's getting better too, and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah.
And that Finch video, I watched his whole channel, and I don't know if you had a chance to watch it yet.
I just watched that today while doing the first ones of these.
Yeah, man, like that. It's changed my perspective on some things where it's, I forgot some things obviously, and then other things from there. But it was just like, it's possible to just do pencils in here for sure, and I don't know. It was good to see it. Let's put it that way.
I liked his background video because he did it so quickly as well, which pissed me off. He does the way I draw, basically, where you just draw like a form in and then go straight into inks.
Yep.
But it looks so good, and then he's just like, well, this is kind of crap, and I'm like, oh, you don't understand. It's not. It's amazing.
That's the way she goes, boys.
Yeah, that's the way she goes.
Oh, I guess we've been, thanks outnumbered, he said we've been doing it for an hour 10. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so Donnie had a thing, I think this has been for a while here. He says, draw the ultimate universe Electro. He doesn't have a mask. And, okay, so Nimrod has another question. Here we go. John, I find your ideas on goal setting awesome. I'm just going to interrupt real quick. I'm glad you like them. Now, if I could only actually finish or reach my goals, then... Oh, man, that's so funny.
Only you could follow your own advice.
I'm a good motivational speaker, but I'm not motivated. It's hilarious. Okay, John, I find your ideas on goal setting awesome, and motivational videos you post on Facebook awesome too. What part of your goals are time-based? Time you set in stone, in time that is chewed up by random life happenings. How do you stop people from jacking it up? Okay, well, I don't have a real answer for you because I still struggle with that every day. I think I'm starting to concede to life is what it is, and I'm at a point now where, like, I don't have a lot of chaos in my life. I don't really have a lot of outside interruptions, but when I do, it's like I have to do them. I don't have children, so like I can't comment on any of that. But I was reading or listening to an interview with Doug TenNapel, a huge guy that I'm a big fan of, and he had this one reply, or it might have been an article or something, where he just said, You just realize there came to a point where it's like, family life, all that stuff is so important that you can't just disregard it. You just have to make it count when it's there, so that when you're done that engagement, now it's time you get like an hour to draw. You have to focus. You have to basically spend the little time that you have in doing what you got. So the one thing that I've come across that's actually been helping me more than anything I've come across is it's called the Pomodoro technique. It's a fancy word. You can search for it, Pomodoro or whatever, and it looks like a little tomato. But just to break it down for you, all it is it's an egg timer, or you've got a smartphone or something. Set that for 25 minutes, focus on one task. So if it was drawing a comic book page, that's fine. It's going to start broad like that. So I could say, I need to do this whole page today. Start the timer for 25 minutes and just get to work. Turn off your cell phone if you can. Turn off your internet. Unplug it. Be aggressive. And that way you're limiting things that are in your control. Not like when your kid comes running in and saying, my hand's on fire. That shit you can't do anything about. But there are certain things you definitely can be aggressive about. Once those 25 minutes are up, you take a 5-minute break. You do this 4 times in a row, and instead of on the 4th you take a 5, you take a 25-minute break. So now you can go spend time with your kids. You can go just read a book. You can go do whatever. And those 5-minute breaks, what you're supposed to do is literally just get up and walk away. Leave. Go let your brain think of something else. Don't focus on work. Just stare outside. Look at your cats. Get a drink of water. All that stuff.
Just get a mental image of you for 5 minutes just looking at the cat.
I do. I go out and I pet my cats. I play with them for 5 minutes so that they don't come in here and bug me while I'm drawing for 25 minutes. And what ends up...
I just picture you looking at them for 5
just
minutes.
Staring at them.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm at now because I've been doing it for a little while. I'd say at least a good solid 3 weeks I've been doing this, and I've noticed a huge improvement is I don't just go, okay, I need this page done today and set the timer. I don't do that. What I do is I start going, how much can I actually cram in that 25 minutes? So let's say this panel here. I've already got my pencils done. So I might go, okay, for 25 minutes, all I'm doing is the contour work. Okay, get all the contour work done. So I'll bust my ass. I've got the timer. I can see it, and I'm just getting in there, and maybe I'll get it done in 10 minutes. Then I go, okay, well, I can fit in the next. But what you're doing is it's funny. There's this idea that comes along, and I say it's true. You guys probably will too when I say it, because it's happened to all of us, I would assume, where it's, if you give yourself an impossible deadline, most often than not, you'll actually see it through. So if you had like an assignment from school today and they said you need a 3-page report due tomorrow and it's worth your entire grade, if you do not hand this in, you're going to fail. You know you're going to hand that in. But if they said you've got to...
Basically me right now, like I know I'm going to get all these things done.
Because you, like, yeah, and what it is for Will, what it is, I'm assuming, I'm just speaking for you, is it's like a real deal where it's like, okay, so there's a huge company called Sony that wants him to do something. That's out of his norm. That's major possibilities of who knows what could happen. But that's very important. So if that means he doesn't get some sleep tonight, doesn't matter. He's showing up at the work. Like, he's going to get it done. That's just, he knows if he doesn't get it done, he's not going in, right? So if you gave yourself a week to do it, you might get it done. You know, you might just wait all that time and get right to the last couple days and just hammer it out. That's how I used to work. That's honestly how I used to do things. And no matter how much I would try to schedule with a calendar and all that stuff, I couldn't get that shit to work, man. It just wasn't my thing. With this, if I go, okay, I've got 2 days to do this comic page, even after my day job, pending massive life things that I can't do, I know that I can go in here and just set that timer, and for me, that's like a trick. It's been working for me. So maybe try that. It might be something you're interested in. I don't know. I've just had, I don't want to say massive success, but noticeable success from it.
Right on.
And how do you stop people jacking you up? I don't know. Tell them to fuck off. Tell them you're only available from certain times. I have an email now that whenever I get an email, it just auto-replies back to people saying, due to the amount of work that I have, I'm unable to reply to your email. I will be checking it at 12 in the afternoon and 9 p.m. And that's the only time I check my emails now. I don't worry about, like, if there's a deadline where a client's like, I need something fixed by that. That might be an extreme circumstance, but not like I don't even look at that stuff. Because most of the time, I don't know about you guys, you look at your email and it's just like, delete, 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 delete. There might be one that's interesting. It's just a waste of time to keep checking it. But those are just stuff like that. Do you have anything on that, Will?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah, I know I went off for a bit there. He said, what part of your goals are time-based? Meaning time you set in stone and time that's chewed up by random happenings. How do you stop people from jacking it up?
I like to hear people jacking it up. Well, I I'm in a band, and it's not always just for shits and giggles. Like, for instance, this weekend we had a very large gig that was an event, and we played for weddings and all that type of stuff. So I do sacrifice a lot of my time to that every week. Maybe I have practice twice a week, and then usually a gig on the weekends. So I'd say a solid 2 days of my week go towards that. Um, I also have a girlfriend who is extremely understanding of my profession, luckily. So I sacrifice time for her. But I also currently live at home with my parents and my brother, so they're the ones that get the least amount. Like, for instance, I don't go to many family functions or anything because I'm like, well, I see you every day, so that's my time with you. You should be happy that you cook me supper and then I eat it with you. Um, that's like the time I spend with them, where like I'm pretty good at time management. I think John knows that. Of just
Yep.
uh, if I have a deadline, I'll hit that deadline. Um, I bought a whiteboard and I write down my schedule for the week, and I bought another whiteboard and I write down my overall schedule, and that's what keeps everything going. And in the end, if people just need to understand what you're working towards. If you're just doodling and you're like, I can't talk, I'm doodling, then I can understand why people would be like, no, come hang out with me. But if you're like, no, I'm really making the push to change my life and make a career, then people will definitely understand that.
Yep.
That's another one down. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need to do 25, so 7, 14, 12. Oh god, I'm not even 1/3 of the way done, and I've been working on it since 3. What's the time now? 7:30? Shit. Oh, that means another 10 hours? No. No, I'm not going to be up till 5 in the morning doing this. Alright, I got to bang some quickies out. What's an easy villain to do?
Right. So I'm going to help
Hello?
you out. Let's see.
Oh.
1 second here. Spider-Man villains. Hey, with wings. Fuck off. Okay.
Yeah.
Images. Let's see real quick. So you got Green Goblin.
Done.
Venom's pretty easy, really.
Yeah, a lot of black. I suppose I could do Venom.
Venom's easy. Carnage. I don't know. It's kind of.
No, I'm going to avoid Carnage, I think.
Vulture. He's pretty. Kingpin.
I don't think I could do Kingpin because I know that Marvel's doing Kingpin in their thing, and that's Fox property. I don't know, like, what I can with Sony. I don't know if like they're gonna be like, why did you draw this picture that's not owned by our company?
Well, what if you did? You do like 2 or 3 versions of all the villains you've already done, in case 2 people want like Doctor Doom or something stupid.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I don't have to make it all individual, do I?
Nah, man, come on. Yeah, do that. You know what you could even do? Nah, that'd be kind of tacky. I was gonna say you could just literally redraw some of the ones you've done. I honestly don't think that'd be a bad idea. That's your call, though. Like, obviously you have to redraw it, but the work's done. You just gotta...
if I draw one more, then that makes 8. And if I do 24 images, because I need to do 19, but I want spares, I'm going to do a female because I don't like the thing is I don't know what's the ratio of men and women.
Okay, so you need to do a female then.
Yeah, I know. Like I have a Mysterio here. I know I can make a Mysterio easily a girl.
Just do Black Cat.
Yeah, obviously I'm going to do Black Cat.
For some reason, the women like Catwoman and they like Black Cat. Women and cats. I don't.
I'll do Black Cat right now then. Yeah, good idea. Fuck
or
Figurine.
Firestar. Nobody's gonna know who she is, but yeah.
Oh, Firestar. Good idea.
Hey, I think it's literally spandex with a star.
Spider-Man Amazing Friends.
Okay. Abdullah asks, any advice to how? Okay, so a little bit of English here. Let me just read it here. Oh no, I just can't read. Any advice on how to develop my own style because I'm having a tough time making it my own and make it special? And is it okay to copy someone else's style to enhance it and change it? Thank you.
Yes. And I made a video series on my YouTube called How to Find Your Comic Book Art Style that's like an hour long. So I recommend watching that Shizm.
Yeah, so check out, is it Robson Inc. on YouTube?
Yeah, it's youtube.com/Robson Inc. and that's INK. and you'll find a video with a picture of Batman. It's called How to Find Your Comic Book Art Style. And basically in that I just go through all the little individual things I took to make my art style. Like my faces are inspired by Greg Capullo, my hair is inspired by John Romita Jr. and my clothes. And then I show hybrids of that. Bodies are like John Byrne and John Buscema, and that's you just gotta mix and match different stuff. And the key thing I say is look at your favorite artists and find what you don't like about their work, and then take that for something else. Like if you don't like the way Greg Capullo draws ears, then draw ears like John Romita Jr. And eventually you'll mix and match all the stuff to make your own art style.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, boy.
That's
and it will change over time as well. Like John's stuff has changed a lot.
Oh. I think like everybody else, I used to draw anime when I was growing up, so everything was...
Yeah, so did I. I used to draw Kenshin and Trigun and stuff. And...
Yep. Everybody started somewhere, but yeah, just keep looking, keep growing. And a lot of people put focus on style. Don't just study people because you like the way they draw because they draw well. Don't study somebody because, like, a lot of people like Dragon Ball Z. Okay, a lot of people like Akira Toriyama stuff. I love it. I absolutely can't eat it up. But if I have to look at horrible anatomy that he draws all the time, I would lose my mind. Most of his anatomy is it looks good, it looks functional, and that's really all he needs. But I wouldn't tell you to study that to learn how to draw anatomy ever. You know what I mean? So there's certain things you gotta. Most people agree that you should look at proper things for proper study, and style comes after that. The only reason if you wanted to draw Akira Toriyama's like shoulders that he draws is you need to understand how shoulders work and then see what he's doing and go, oh, okay, I see how he's simplifying it. And that's really where style comes from, if you ask me. That's just my opinion. But definitely check out Will's video. It'll explain a whole bunch to you. It's a great video.
Thank you, buddy.
Mm-hmm. You got another one person here saying, do Black Cat with +2. A lot of people enjoyed that one.
What's +2?
+2 likes. So they want you to do Black Cat.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, I could switch up some stuff. I'm going to draw Forest Girl right now. Because you gave me, like, childhood flashbacks when you said that name.
Sorry, guys.
Spider-Man is Amazing Friends.
Outnumbered Studios is asking, are you participating in the 100s? I'm just getting the kids back to school, so it'll be a month before I can. I'm really excited to participate myself. I don't know if you know what the 100s are or not, Will?
Nope.
It's basically the 100-day challenge.
Oh, hell no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So Will and I,
right now.
yeah, we both started it and we stopped. I'll speak to myself real quick for it. I stopped because I was just getting way too much client work. And I wasn't able, and this might sound stupid in a dumb way, but you don't need to share your experience with everybody online, like how it's going, but it seems like that's sort of the flow that it is. So if you are participating in it, you do post a video so people know about it so you can get encouragement, and it just makes it more of a community thing, which I think is great. But as it was...
Put pressure on everything that I didn't like.
Exactly, and that's why I stopped, because it was... Now I was digging into time of producing things. Like for the YouTube videos and stuff, my computer's not that great. I have to process and render. Like there's a lot of shit going on in the background where I just couldn't do it. Now in saying that, I could have just done that stuff on my own without sharing it, but I felt like that just was kind of like a, well, why even do it? I mean, just do my own stuff. Now, if you need the motivation to do it, I highly recommend doing it. Absolutely. The experience that I did have in the beginning was, it was very, there's a lot of energy behind it. It was like, yo, man, I can't wait to see where this goes. And if it's the push that you need to somehow trick yourself into thinking that it'll get you more stuff done, then totally do it.
I explained in my Judge Dredd pinup video why I stopped doing it. Because I suddenly was working on an image comic, and then I was in talks with IDW for Judge Dredd, and then I just thought, you know what, this is far more important than my personal project, is my career. So.
Yep, and that's sort of like where it goes too. You gotta think where you're going. If you guys are just drawing for yourself, like I know Kevin Cross, that's who I'm coming at this from. He's the guy that I initially stumbled upon this 100-day challenge thing, and he was just very upset, and I got into the mindset too of just, you're tired of working for everybody else. You just want to start not only doing your own stuff, but being recognized for your own stuff. And
Hey, I'm just getting a phone call. So I'm just
yep, go ahead. And if you're able to get work done every day to get closer to that reality of doing your own thing for a living, this is a great way of sneaking in time around other projects to do it. But just to kind of round it back, if you are doing this simply because you want to start something and you, for whatever reason, haven't been able to, and this sounds like it might...
Sorry, John, I'll be back in just about 5 minutes. Sorry.
Yeah, man, take your time. And if you find that this might be the thing that'll help you get that thing, whatever it is, started, I'm a huge believer in doing that kind of stuff. And I wish you all the success in the world. Hopefully it gets you closer to whatever it is that you want to do. And if it does, then it's a success. And I'd rather you guys do that so you can see if it is something that you really wanted to do, you know? And there's something to be said about dreams that finally get done, right? And I think if you do take the test, you're going to learn a lot more about just the process in general and all that stuff. But just to speak back to myself a little bit real quick, the reason why I had to stop was a lot of things were getting shifted onto personal work, but I had client work as well. And the clients had already paid for most of the stuff that they're doing. So it just started to feel like a disrespect sort of thing from my angle, where I was working on my own personal projects and giving them more attention than actually turning in client work, which is, in my eyes, it's a no-no. Even if I don't ever want to do client work again, I just want to be an independent artist doing my own projects. That's great, but I have to fulfill the commitments I've already told other people I would do, especially since I took their money. You know, like that's just the biggest sleazeball thing ever. Thanks for the money and then not do your work. So that's where it's going right now. And the Castle Dracula project that's going on in the background that I'm doing, that stemmed from the 100 days. So yeah, it's definitely a great thing. And I know you were saying that your kids are going back to school, so you can finally get back to the drawing table. Live it up, man. Eat it up. Draw every day. Do everything you can. Stuff like that doesn't come often. So I wish you all the best, and I wish you some amazing turnarounds and all that stuff. What's this note to self? Tell them to F off. I don't think Mother would like that, but I'll give it a try. No, you can tell things. There's actually a trick that I remember hearing from like a freelance artist. What they used to do is when they had an office from home and, you know, they had like the family. If you're able to have a room, that's your studio. Most people, it's their bedroom. But if you're able to do that and close your door, that's actually pretty powerful. If you let everybody know in your house that, hey, listen, if the door's closed, please don't come in. I'm intently working or I'm really focused. I need to get this done. It's very important to me. Unless it's an emergency or something, then please just wait till I open it. I will be coming out like every hour or half hour or something like that, so we can say, you know, quickly what's going on. You know, like you're not ignoring people. You're just like, if you went to your day job, whether you work at night or during the day, like your family or whoever's at home, they're not. Hopefully, they're not going to start calling you while you're at work, right? They know you're there. The only difference is when you're at home, it's like that's still a barrier that's there. People can't get that in their head, out of their head, you know. Like I remember growing up, right? Your parents come home from work and you're done school, and just like Dad's watching TV because he had a long day at work, and just like, hey, Dad, you want to? And it's like, I don't want to. I don't want to talk to you. I just want to relax, sort of thing. That has to be appreciated when you're doing something like this, because what we do is very serious. It's very time intensive. This stuff doesn't just happen very quickly. So if you're able to have a door, that'll work. The last real quick thing I'll say is I lived in an apartment that was 2 rooms, not 2 bedrooms, 2 rooms. It had a bedroom and a kitchen sort of living room area. And that was pretty rough because if somebody was on the computer at the time, you know, it was noise there, and if I was listening to music, I couldn't really listen to music because it would interrupt them. It was just it wasn't a very comfortable working experience. And what I ended up doing was, and this is pretty extreme, but I heard somebody recommend this, so I thought I'd try it, which was I went to the dollar store and I bought, it was, what's it called? Like a shower curtain, and I bought 2 of them, and then I got these little like hooks that you can just stick to the ceiling. And what I did is I hooked, four to six of these, and I put this shower curtain up, and it was literally a pretend wall that I just made. And it sounds absolutely
You did that
stupid.
so you could wank in private, not to draw.
See, and Will knows exactly what I'm talking about. You got to take care of business when you can take care of business. But try it out. People can get creative when you really need to do something. So don't remember to always. And this is going to get the motivational speaking crap coming out here, but you're the one that's in charge of what you get done and what you don't get done. So if that means you're surrounded by constant interruptions, like you have 6 kids and a pregnant wife, or you are the lady and you got a nagging husband or something, and money's tight, you've got to do what you got to do to like make all that controllable, right? So if that means you have to take 2 part-time jobs or 2 full-time jobs, I sympathize with you, and that's horrible. But if there's any way you can squeeze out 30 minutes to get your dreams going, you got to do what you got to do. You know what you can do and what you can't do. But yeah, keep asking, keep looking for what other people do, because you never know how some people come up with creative ways to solve certain problems. So that was a long-winded way of saying I believe in you. Ugh, gross.
That's good, man.
Anyway, okay, so Outnumbered Studio saying, I've done almost nothing but self-published work. So far, even my own children's book, which is still sitting on Amazon. I was hoping it'd keep me on track. Okay, for the 30 days. Yeah, you know what you could even try doing too? Since you've got all that time, just as an experiment for me, and see if it'll actually work for you. I think it'll be pretty eye-opening, and it'll probably help you with whatever you're going to do next, which is the Pomodoro technique that I talked about, which I love, but spend 25 minutes every day for 5 days figuring out and actually applying ways to market that book that you have on Amazon that's just sitting there. Make images that you can post on Facebook every day. Make banners for your website. Send out tweets. Just do that and see if you start getting some sales. And I can guarantee you'll probably get at least one, unless what you have up there is just, not up to snuff, or it's not really what people are looking for, which is possible, right? Like everybody makes something knowing that it's not for everybody. But try that, see what happens. I've had great results with that, where if I would just spend like a little bit of time every day just researching or looking at like Patreon, for example, I had no idea even how to do it, so I set 25 minutes twice a week until I started understanding kind of what was going on, and I'm still ish there. And then I just spent like 25 minutes posting online, making a video that I can put in front of all my videos, and now it's just content that's always there, whether it nags people or not. But try doing that. Do your own like more published work if you want, or even spend like some time marketing yourself, seeing if you can get client work instead of just doing personal work, unless personal work is something that you're really passionate about doing.
Yeah, good enough. Okay. Why are you going, oh god?
Oh no, I was just looking at what I'm drawing here, and I gotta fix some things. That's why I was. You get talking, and it's like, well, that perspective's off. How did I?
I know, like for instance, like look at this hand I just drew. This is not a hand. This is gross.
It's great.
And it's traditional, so I can't click undo. And it's done. So I'm just moving on, drawing smoke. I added all this smoke around all these images because it lets me cover up crap I don't want to draw. Like I'm totally Liefelding it right now.
It's all good, man. Actually, Firestar, she has fire, doesn't she? Or are you doing Black Hat?
I'm doing Firestar.
Well, that hand that's all janky. Add some speed lines to it, break it up a little bit, put some fire in there.
Clever.
You'll be good to go.
That's definitely what I'm going to do.
Okay, and let's do it. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to clean this up, and then I'm going to do a little Castle Dracula for just maybe a half hour, just because. I should probably save this. I don't think I've saved this at all.
I'm probably going to go shortly.
Okay, yeah, just let me know, and then we can wrap her up.
Probably when I finish this pinup, I'll go. pin-up, freaking whatever I'm calling this.
Been some questions. Probably got maybe 10 to 15 minutes, we'll say.
Yep, yep. That sounds about right.
Oh, it's so hot here, man.
It's hot here too.
It's so gross. Like, and I don't mean to get gross with everybody, but my agenda today was just doing comic. Like, I have to get this work done. So I find that the earlier I can start drawing, the better my day is in general. Like, I can draw more. So I haven't had a shower yet, and I'm starting to smell myself. And
Oh!
and it's not like that. It's not like a massive BO thing. I don't mean to gross everybody out, but I'm getting ripe. So when we're done this, like, I'm right in the shower. I'm actually looking for. It's so sweaty here. My glasses are sliding down my face. Okay. Oh, I'm a hot mess right now. This is
Actually,
not
it's
good.
not that hot here. I just have a light beaming on me right now, which is not helping, and like having the flu as well. Like, oh god.
Ugh.
That's what I want to
Oh,
do.
okay. Number's taking off. You're going to buy Magic cards. Awesome. I play Magic every Friday night. Friday Night Magic. So I know all about that Magic. It's good
I
stuff.
play what's it called? By John's recommendation, which I'm addicted to now.
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone or whatever it's called,
It's a great game.
and a bit of Pokemans.
Hmm. Okay, so we got one question here by Nimrod again. What is your ideas of the body clock? And he has that in quotes here, meaning your sleeping habits. This is actually probably a pretty good question. Sleep hygiene. I find shine better in the night when my wife is. Okay, I think he was saying I find I shine better at night when my wife is asleep, but I'm out of sync with the world. Yeah. How do you feel about sleep and wake time to get the max out of your art? I know 100% what mine is. I know I have found mine. I don't know if you have yet, or if you're still kind of finding what it is that you get your optimal output, and everything seems in balance anyway.
I think
As
I
opposed to
recently discovered it because I have changed. I used to. It's a reason why me and John haven't spoken in a while, is because he lives in Canada, I live in England, so different time zones. But it used to be, I used to go to bed at 4 o'clock every morning, so I would be able to be up chatting with John Richter because of the time difference. But I felt like and I used to wake up at like 12 every day. But then with band practice and stuff, there were certain days that I just lost. I just like time was just gone, and I didn't have time to do anything. So about 2 weeks ago, I've changed it to I go to bed at about 12 or 1 and wake up at 9, and then from like 9 to 11, I like do whatever I want to do for the day, and then I just immediately work, and then by the time supper's over, then I'm done with work, and I've been producing way more work. So that's like my new thing that I've been doing.
Yep, I hear most people seem to get most out of their life when they become Chris Oatley, a different guy. He has a bunch of podcast inspirational stuff, and that's where I sort of heard the term like an early riser. I don't know if that's what he came up with or whatever, but most artists usually, and I think this comes from high school when we start doing this sort of stuff, where we're night owls. We like to work when it's quiet or when it's just you. You don't have to worry about it, right?
Mhm.
But I found anyway, the older I got, and again, no kids, so all this is still up in the air to change. But since I don't have kids, but even if I had kids, it seems like the earlier you wake up, the better. And like in Will's case, he doesn't have to do anything. He works from home. I work a day job. I start my day that I have to start getting ready for work is 7 a.m. So now lately I have to get up even earlier to drive my girlfriend to work. Sometimes she works at 5 a.m., but sometimes I'm getting up at 4 a.m. just to get her to go to work. And from then, I just work until I have to go to my day job. That gives me, 2 to 3 hours sometimes of just work. And I'm telling you right now, guys, it sucks. You're so tired. But when you're up and you have to go do something, it helps. And then I go to my day job, so when I get home, if I can squeeze in an hour or two, that's fine, because I know I have to wake up early the next day, right? Just those times of burning yourself out at the end of the night, You know, like because everybody's asleep and okay, well I can stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning and then get up at like 6 or 7 to get my day started. To me, that just burns me out way too fast. And if I wake up earlier, that means I can stay up later in case I have to do those late nights. Whereas the other way, if I just woke up at like 11 or noon and then I'd have to stay up till like 4, it always felt really gross.
Yeah,
So
and also I just feel like at the end of the day, if I finish work at by 7, I feel way more accomplished, like I've accomplished more, rather
yep.
than by 4 o'clock in the morning I've completed something, because I don't know. I do feel a bit more adult now, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think the number one important thing out of all of this, as much as getting work and becoming freelance and doing everything yourself, there's one thing that I keep seeing pop up more and more, and I'm seeing it more and more in my life, is that the more of this stuff you put into, the more of yourself you put into this stuff, it goes two ways. One, you will get more work, you will get better work, because you're getting better. But the thing that you sacrifice for that is not life, but life. Like your family, your friends, all that stuff. There has to be that balance. And I personally find that if you can wake up earlier and it lets you spend like that half hour or an hour a day with your significant other, or you just give your time to them for something, it makes me personally feel better. And like Will just said, I know that since I've already been up, I've already been doing work that, yeah, maybe I didn't get as much as I wanted done, but there's no fires that I need to put out. And I did do work. I didn't have to wait till I came home from the day job and go, oh, fuck, I'm burnt out, and then wait till like 10 in the night just to go, okay, now I feel energized to do this. It's kind of like get it over with. All your energy and stuff that you need is for your own work right in the beginning of your day before you have to put it in a client work kind of thing. If that makes any sense, but
Yeah. Yes.
So in closing, I think we're both saying the earlier you wake up, the better. We've had better results that way anyway.
Agreed. Oh god, this is gonna be an all-nighter, I can already tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm already, like, the art quality of artwork is slipping.
I've got something for you might like. A pro tip.
What's that?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so it involves one thing. Do you have a light table?
No.
Is it nighttime where you're at right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Do you have like a piece of plastic?
Are you saying it's to trace the ones I've already done?
But better. You can go and look at some of the pictures you've already drawn, print them out, light box the body, and then just put a costume on them. That'll save you fucking shitload of time.
It's a good plan, but I'm also working on cardboard.
No, yeah, you can still light box that, man.
How?
Like, remember what you're like if you're light boxing.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose you're right. And I'm putting it up to my lamp now.
Yeah, and you're not copying 100%. You're just kind of putting like with the blue lines you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting that down. So like all that figure work to build it up, you've already done all that stuff.
In preparation, I would have drawn basic body shapes on the computer and printed those out, and then just drawn over those. But that's in preparation. I didn't prepare at all.
Yeah, it's okay. That's where she goes, boys.
Away she goes. And if somebody don't like it, they ain't gonna pay me.
That's oh, that'd be fun.
I get the Blu-ray as well, by the way, of the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, you better get something out of it.
And a piece of cake.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Oh, this is the worst one yet. This is so bad. Oh my god. Ugh.
Yeah, it's grossing me out.
Oh.
Okay, so what do you think? We're gonna wrap this up here, or what?
Yeah, I need to really knuckle down and focus now. I need to eat. I haven't eaten today, so that's important.
Yeah, get your energy back. So I'll start us off by wrapping it up. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. We had lots of viewers this time, and we had some really great questions. And unfortunately, I can't tell you when we'll have the next one. Like we just told you guys, our time zones are real rough, but hopefully we'll have another one for you guys soon. You guys can check out my website, my work at patreon.com. Sorry, that's what I was going after this. Go to patreon.com/Jonathan Rector if you guys wanted to help support me with all the art stuff I'm doing. But if you wanted to check out my work and find me other places online, head over to jonathanrector.com.
And you can find my work in comic book stores. Oh, by the way, also the standard issues 5 and 6 come out next month, John.
Yes, I do.
So you can find both me and John in your local comic book store next month, or you can find all the stuff I'm working on at facebook.com/Robson Inc. or at Robson Inc. on Twitter.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.